Every night, before you close your eyes and let sleep carry you away, your body has a unique opportunity, a golden chance to protect something we take for granted in youth, but that with the years becomes our greatest treasure: strength. That strength that lets you get out of bed without help, climb a couple of steps without losing your breath, or simply walk safely through your home without fear of falling. Today I want to talk to you about something almost nobody tells you, but that could make the difference between keeping your independence or starting to depend on others for the most basic tasks. Because what you eat before bed, even if you don't believe it, has a direct impact on your muscles, your mobility, and ultimately, your quality of life. I'm going to reveal which fruits, if you include them in your nighttime routine, can help you prevent one of the greatest threats to your health after the age of 60, sarcopenia. Maybe that term sounds strange, but I assure you its effects are not. Sarcopenia is that silent loss of muscle mass that begins little by little. First you tire more quickly, then it's hard to get up from the chair, then you stop going out for walks as often, and without noticing, you begin to lose your independence. Your muscles don't just serve to move you, they are your shield against falls, your engine to keep you active, and the key to continue living with energy and dignity. That's why it's so important to act now, before it's too late. Over the next few minutes, I'm going to tell you which fruits you should eat before bed and why they're so effective at protecting your strength. I'll explain how they work in your body, what nutrients they provide, and how you can easily incorporate them into your dinner or as a small nighttime snack. But before we go on, I want to get to know you better. Tell me in the comments, how many years old are you, and from which country are you watching me? I love to know where this beautiful community of people who, like you, are determined to live better every day is joining from. Now then, get ready, because what's coming can change your nighttime routine forever. What is sarcopenia, and why should you worry? Now that you know what this video is about, it's important that you understand the enemy you're facing: sarcopenia. Put simply, sarcopenia is the progressive loss of muscle mass that naturally occurs as we age. It's not a rare disease, nor something that only happens to some people. It's a reality that affects millions of older adults around the world. It starts silently. One day you notice it's harder to open a jar. Another day you realize that climbing the stairs leaves you breathless. Over time, that loss of strength becomes more evident. It's hard to get up from the chair, to walk long distances, or even to keep your balance. And here's where the real danger begins. Sarcopenia doesn't just mean having less muscle. It means a higher risk of falls, fractures, hospitalizations, and most worryingly, loss of independence. Let me tell you about Mary. She is 75 years old and has always been an active woman. She loved going to the park, doing the shopping on her own, and enjoying her grandchildren. But just a year ago, everything changed because of a simple fall in her kitchen. The cause? Her muscles no longer had enough strength to support her when she lost her balance. She ended up with a hip fracture. What seemed like a minor accident marked the beginning of a long recovery process that, unfortunately, still hasn't ended. Since then, she needs help to walk and has lost much of her independence. The saddest thing is that stories like Mary's are more common than we think. According to recent studies, more than 30% of people over 70 years old already show signs of sarcopenia. And the worst part is that many of them don't know it. They believe that feeling weak, tired, or having less strength is simply part of aging. But it isn't. It's a sign that the muscles are slowly disappearing. And if you're wondering, what happens if I do nothing? The answer is clear. Sarcopenia advances, and with it, the risk of falls, fractures, immobility, and in extreme cases, it even increases the risk of mortality. The good news is that there is a lot you can do to slow it down. And that's precisely why you're here today. Because the fruits I'll mention later aren't just simple foods. They're natural tools to protect your strength, your balance, and your quality of life. Why is nighttime nutrition so important for your muscles? Now that you know what sarcopenia is and why it can seriously affect your life, it's time to understand a key aspect almost no one tells you. What you eat before going to bed has a direct impact on your muscles. Yes, you heard that right. Your muscles don't just need exercise, they also need the right fuel. And the most important moment to give them that fuel is right before sleeping. Let me explain why. When you go to bed, your body doesn't switch off. Quite the opposite. During the night, while you rest, your body activates a process of repair and regeneration. The cells in your muscles begin to rebuild. The body repairs small tears in the muscle fibers, strengthens tissues damaged during the day, and generates new proteins to maintain your muscle mass. But here's the problem. For that process to occur efficiently, the body needs nutrients. And if it doesn't have them, do you know what it does? It starts to use whatever it has on hand. And many times that means it begins to break down its own muscle tissue. This process is called muscle catabolism. In simple words, your body starts to eat your own muscles to obtain energy and nutrients during the night. This problem is even worse in older adults. With age, the body's ability to synthesize proteins decreases. That means that even small nutritional shortfalls have a much bigger effect in people over 60 than in younger people. In addition, many older adults have dinner very early. Or worse, they eat very little. Maybe a light soup, a yogurt, or even just a glass of milk. And then they go more than 10 or 12 hours without receiving nutrients. That long window of nighttime fasting is one of the reasons why sarcopenia advances faster than we think. And here is where pre-sleep nutrition comes into play. In recent years, several scientific studies have shown that consuming certain foods rich in proteins, vitamins, and antioxidants before sleeping can significantly improve muscle protein synthesis during the night, especially in older adults. For example, research conducted at universities in Europe has shown that ingesting a small amount of protein, combined with certain micronutrients before bed, can increase the anabolic response of the muscle during sleep. In simpler words, the body makes better use of those nutrients to repair and strengthen muscle mass while you sleep. And although many people think you need protein shakes or expensive supplements for this, the truth is that some natural foods, like the right fruits, can help you achieve it in a delicious and affordable way. Fruit 1. Banana, the ally to prevent muscle loss. Let's go now with the first fruit on the list, a fruit you probably already have at home that is inexpensive, easy to find, and that could make a big difference in the health of your muscles. Let's talk about the banana. Yes, the banana. That yellow, soft and sweet fruit many of us have eaten since childhood. But that, as the years pass, we sometimes set aside without knowing everything it can do for us in our later years. First, the most important point. Why is the banana so valuable if you want to prevent the loss of muscle mass? Mainly for 3 things: potassium, magnesium, and tryptophan. Potassium is essential for proper muscle function. It helps maintain fluid balance in the body, improves muscle contraction, and above all, prevents nighttime cramps, which are very common in older people. If you've ever woken up in the middle of the night with a painful cramp in your leg, you know what I'm talking about. A lack of potassium may be behind that problem. Then we have magnesium, a key mineral for muscle relaxation and for improving sleep quality. In addition, magnesium participates in more than 300 biochemical processes in the body, including muscle protein synthesis. And finally, tryptophan. This is an essential amino acid the body needs to produce serotonin, which in turn becomes melatonin, the hormone that regulates sleep. Sleeping well is one of the basic conditions for your muscles to recover and grow during the night. Now imagine this. Every time you eat a banana before sleeping, you're giving your body a small combination of nutrients that favor both relaxation and muscle repair. Let me tell you about Mr. Manuel. He is 80 years old and until recently suffered from constant nighttime cramps. He also felt that every day he had less strength in his legs. His grandson, who is a physical therapist, recommended something as simple as adding a banana to his nighttime routine. At first, Mr. Manuel was skeptical. He thought a fruit couldn't make much difference. But after a couple of weeks, he began to notice changes: fewer cramps, better sleep, and little by little, more energy upon waking. Nowadays, Mr. Manuel has a ritual. After dinner, when he's ready for bed, He sits in his favorite armchair, takes a ripe banana, enjoys it slowly, and then goes to sleep calmly, knowing he's taken one more step to care for his muscles. If you want to do it like he does, the recommendation is to eat a small or medium banana about 30 to 40 minutes before going to bed. If you prefer, you can also combine it with a bit of plain yogurt or a handful of nuts to enhance its benefits even more. And here's an extra tip. Choose ripe bananas, those that already have some brown spots. They are easier to digest and have more available tryptophan. So now you know. A gesture as simple as eating a banana at night can help you maintain your strength, improve your rest, and protect you from dreaded sarcopenia. Fruit 2. Kiwis, the vitamin C bomb that helps your muscles. The next fruit on our list may seem small, but don't be fooled by its size. It has more power than you imagine. Today I'm talking about the kiwi. Yes, that bright green fruit with tiny seeds and a flavor between sweet and tangy that makes it unmistakable. But why should you eat kiwi before bed if you want to protect your muscles and prevent sarcopenia? First, because of its very high vitamin C content. Did you know that a single kiwi can have double or even triple the vitamin C of an orange? And vitamin C isn't just good for avoiding colds, as many believe. It's essential for the formation of collagen, a key protein in the structure of muscles, tendons, and ligaments. In addition, vitamin C is one of the most potent antioxidants that exists. And what does that have to do with sarcopenia? A lot. As we age, our muscles suffer constant damage due to oxidative stress. That is, because of tiny molecules called free radicals that damage muscle cells from the inside. This damage accumulates day after day, and, if we don't fight it, it accelerates the loss of muscle mass. This is where kiwi comes into play. Its large quantity of antioxidants helps reduce that oxidative damage, thus protecting your muscle fibers and allowing them to repair better during the night. But that's not all. Kiwi also contains natural serotonin. This neurotransmitter is known as the happiness molecule, but it also has another fundamental role. It's a precursor to melatonin, the hormone that regulates sleep. Eating kiwi before going to bed not only protects your muscles, it also helps you sleep better and more deeply. And as you already know, good rest is essential for the body to repair muscle tissue during the night. Let me tell you a real story. Mrs. Carmen is 78 years old, and for years she has suffered from insomnia. She also began to notice that it was increasingly hard to get up from the chair, climb stairs, or even carry grocery bags. Her granddaughter, who studies nutrition, recommended something very simple. Eat 1 or 2 kiwis at night, about 40 minutes before going to bed. At first, Carmen doubted it. She didn't think a fruit could change much, but she decided to try. Every night, after dinner, she prepared her little ritual. She peeled 2 kiwis, sliced them, ate them calmly while watching television, and then turned off the lights. The result didn't take long. In a few weeks, Carmen started to sleep better. She woke up less during the night, felt more rested at dawn, and little by little, noticed she had more strength in her legs. Even her physical therapist told her he saw an improvement in her muscle tone. Today, Carmen doesn't go to bed without her nightly dose of kiwi, and every time someone asks her what she's doing to feel stronger, she smiles and says, "My green secret," as I call it. If you want to try it, here's a recommendation. Eat 1 or 2 ripe kiwis approximately 40 or 50 minutes before sleeping. You can eat them alone or mix them with a bit of plain yogurt or a handful of nuts if you want to boost the effect. Remember, it's not a magic solution from one day to the next. But if you're consistent, in a few weeks, you can notice big changes in your sleep and in the strength of your muscles. Fruit 3. Cherry, the natural anti-inflammatory that cares for your muscles. Now we come to one of the most interesting fruits when we talk about muscle health and preventing sarcopenia, the cherry, especially the sour cherry. It may not be the fruit we eat most often, and you surely don't have it at home as easily as a banana or a kiwi. But what these little red fruits can do for your muscles deserves your full attention, step by step. The first thing you need to know is that cherries, especially sour cherries, are among the most powerful natural anti-inflammatories in the plant world. And why is that important for your muscles? Because over the years, your body begins to suffer a phenomenon known as low-grade chronic inflammation. Maybe you've never heard that term, but you're surely already feeling its effects without realizing it. Chronic inflammation is that silent state in which your body maintains, day after day, an internal level of inflammation higher than normal. It isn't the kind of inflammation you get when you bump your knee or twist an ankle. It's something much more discreet, but much more damaging in the long term. That constant inflammation attacks your muscle cells. It weakens them, makes repair more difficult, and favors the loss of muscle mass, increasing the risk of sarcopenia. Here's where cherries come in. Cherries contain compounds called anthocyanins and polyphenols. Those names may sound complicated, but in simple words, they are substances that help reduce inflammation in the body and fight oxidative damage. Several studies have shown that consuming cherries or sour cherry juice regularly can reduce inflammatory markers in older people and athletes. In addition, they have also been shown to improve muscle recovery after physical effort and promote better nighttime rest. Let me tell you about Mrs. Rosario. She is 76 years old and for months had been suffering from muscle stiffness upon waking. Every morning it was hard to move her legs, and during the day she felt tired and in pain. Her doctor told her about the benefits of sour cherry juice and recommended adding it to her routine before bed. Rosario started drinking half a glass of sour cherry juice every night, about an hour before going to bed. In less than 2 weeks, she noticed she woke up with less stiffness, less pain, and with more energy to start the day. In addition, something she didn't expect, she began to sleep more deeply. That's because cherries, in addition to their anti-inflammatory power, also contain natural melatonin, an extra help to achieve restorative sleep, which, as you already know, is fundamental for muscle health. Now you're surely asking yourself, what's better, eating whole cherries or drinking the juice? The answer is simple. Both options are good. If you have access to fresh or frozen cherries, you can eat a handful, between 15 and 20 cherries, an hour before sleeping. If you prefer the juice, half a glass is enough. Just make sure it's sour cherry juice with no added sugars. A small trick if you choose the juice: drink it cold and slowly, as if it were a special beverage for your rest. This little nighttime ritual will not only care for your muscles, but will also become a moment of calm before sleeping. Remember, the goal isn't just to consume cherries once in a while. What really makes the difference is consistency. Incorporating them into your nightly routine can give you surprising results over the weeks. So now you know. If you want to reduce inflammation, protect your muscles and sleep better, give cherries a chance. Fruit 4. Avocado, the source of good fats to repair muscle. Now let's talk about a fruit you might not always associate with desserts or with typical fruits. But that is undoubtedly one of your most powerful allies to care for your muscles after the age of 60, the avocado. Yes, the avocado. Creamy, smooth, full of flavor, and above all, full of nutrients that can make a big difference in your muscle health. But why is the avocado so important if we're talking about preventing sarcopenia? The answer lies in its content of healthy fats. As we age, maintaining a good hormonal level is essential to preserve muscle mass. Hormones like testosterone and insulin-like growth factor are essential for the repair and growth of muscle fibers, even in women. And here's where good fats come in. Avocado is rich in monounsaturated fatty acids, the same ones you find in olive oil. These fats are key for the production of anabolic hormones, those that help build and repair muscle. But that's not all. Avocado provides vitamin E, a powerful antioxidant that helps protect muscle cells from damage. It also has potassium, which contributes to proper muscle function, and magnesium, which favors relaxation and recovery of muscle tissue during sleep. And as if that weren't enough, avocado also has fiber, which helps keep your blood sugar levels stable during the night. This is especially important if you have diabetes or are at risk of developing it. Now you may be wondering, won't eating avocado before bed be too heavy? The key is the amount. You don't need to eat a whole avocado right before sleeping. A small portion, equivalent to a quarter or at most half a piece, is enough to take advantage of its benefits without feeling too full. A simple and delicious way to incorporate it into your nighttime routine is to prepare a small slice of whole grain toast with a few slices of avocado and a squeeze of lemon. Another option is to simply eat it with a spoon, with a pinch of salt, or even mixed with a bit of plain yogurt. I'm going to tell you about Mr. Raphael, 81 years old. For a long time, Mr. Raphael complained that every morning he woke up with weak legs and arms without strength. His doctor recommended increasing his intake of healthy fats to support his hormone production, and so his little nightly ritual began. Every night after dinner, Raphael prepared a small slice of whole grain bread with avocado. Sometimes he added a bit of crushed tomato or some chia seeds on top. After a few weeks, Mr. Raphael noticed something surprising. In the mornings, he felt more energetic. It was less difficult to get out of bed. He could walk more easily, and his physical therapist told him he saw a slight improvement in his muscle tone. Was it only the avocado? Of course not. But that small nighttime gesture, along with other changes in his diet and activity, made a big difference. So now you know, if you want to give your body the tools it needs to repair and strengthen muscle while you sleep, don't be afraid of good fats. A small portion of avocado before bed may be just what your body needs. Fruit 5. Papaya. Easy digestion and rich in enzymes for muscle recovery. Now we come to a tropical fruit that, besides being delicious and refreshing, can become a true ally for your muscle health. Papaya. You may have eaten it at breakfast sometime or as a dessert after lunch, but what you might not have known is that papaya, eaten at night before sleeping, can help you improve the absorption of nutrients and favor the recovery of your muscles while you rest. And why is this important? Because it's no use spending the day trying to eat well, consuming enough protein, or exercising if your body later isn't able to digest and absorb all those nutrients efficiently. And here's where papaya plays a fundamental role. First, let's talk about its digestive power. Papaya contains a natural enzyme called papain. This enzyme has a very special function. It helps break down the proteins you consume throughout the day, making their digestion and later absorption easier. In other words, if you eat foods rich in protein like chicken, fish, or legumes for dinner, ending your day with a bit of papaya can help those proteins be better used, reach your muscles, and participate in their repair and maintenance. And that, if you're over 60 or 70 years old, is key to fighting sarcopenia. But papain isn't the only good thing about papaya. This fruit is also very rich in vitamin C, one of the most powerful antioxidants there is. Vitamin C not only strengthens your immune system, but also helps repair damaged tissues, including muscle tissue. In addition, papaya contains beta-carotenes and flavonoids, other antioxidants that combat oxidative stress, the same stress that accelerates cellular aging and favors the loss of muscle mass. I'll tell you about Teresa, a 73-year-old woman. Teresa had been suffering for months from heavy digestion, gas, and a constant feeling of bloating after dinner. Her nutritionist recommended something very simple. Have a small bowl of fresh papaya half an hour before going to bed. The result was surprising. In a matter of days, Teresa noticed that her digestion was lighter, she slept better, and she got up in the mornings with less feeling of heaviness. Even her vitamin C levels in her tests improved, something her doctor celebrated. Now you're surely wondering, how can you incorporate papaya into your nighttime routine? Here are some simple ideas. First, the easiest option. Eat it on its own, in small pieces, as if it were a light dessert before bed. Second option, prepare a gentle smoothie. You can blend a few pieces of papaya with a bit of plain yogurt and a drizzle of honey or a few drops of lemon. And if you want to enhance its effect even more, add a bit of ginger or turmeric powder. That way you'll have a perfect anti-inflammatory and digestive combo before sleeping. That said, as I always tell you, the key is consistency. It doesn't do much to eat papaya once and expect miraculous results. Try to turn it into a small nighttime ritual, something you enjoy, that feels good, and that little by little helps your body better absorb the nutrients it so needs to keep your muscles strong. Fruit 6. Berries. Antioxidant protection for your muscles. Now let's go with a group of small fruits, but with enormous power. Berries. I mean blueberries, blackberries, strawberries, and also raspberries. Perhaps you've seen them at the supermarket, or maybe you already eat them from time to time. But what you may not know is that these fruits are true natural protectors for your muscles, especially when you eat them regularly before sleeping. And why are they so special? The answer lies in their very high antioxidant content, especially in a type of compounds called polyphenols and anthocyanins. These antioxidants are like a natural shield that protects your muscles from the damage caused by oxidative stress. What does that mean? Very simple. As we age, the body produces more free radicals, molecules that damage cells, including muscle cells. This damage, if it accumulates, accelerates loss of strength, favors inflammation, and contributes to dreaded sarcopenia. This is where berries come into play. Several studies have shown that the polyphenols present in blueberries, blackberries, and strawberries can significantly reduce muscle damage after physical effort, and can also favor the repair of muscle fibers while you sleep. It has even been observed that older people who regularly consume these fruits have better energy levels and greater resistance to fatigue. I'm going to tell you about Mrs. Anna, a 73-year-old woman who lives in a small mountain town. Anna used to wake up every morning with heavy legs and the feeling that she had no strength to start the day. After visiting her nutritionist, she began incorporating a handful of berries into her nighttime routine. Some nights she mixed them with plain yogurt. Other times, she simply prepared a small smoothie with plant milk and a handful of frozen strawberries and blueberries. After a couple of weeks, Anna noticed a change. Mornings were no longer so hard. She got up with more energy, with less muscle stiffness, and, most importantly, with the desire to go out walking again. When she returned to her nutritionist, she commented with a laugh, "It seems these little fruits have magic." Now, how can you incorporate these fruits into your nighttime routine? Here are some practical ideas. First, if you have fresh fruits, even better. You can eat them on their own as a small dessert before sleeping. If you have frozen fruits, they work perfectly too. You can add them to plain yogurt, mix them with a bit of oats, or prepare a light smoothie with some milk and a touch of honey. The important thing here is consistency. You don't need to eat large amounts. A small handful every night is more than enough to start noticing the benefits. And remember something, caring for your muscles isn't only about proteins and exercise. It's also essential to protect your cells from daily damage. And for that, berries are great allies. How to combine these fruits for better results? Now that you already know the 7 fruits that can help you prevent sarcopenia and maintain your strength, it's time to answer a very important question. How can you combine them in a simple, delicious, and effective way before sleeping? Because yes, you can eat them separately, but if you mix them intelligently, you can enhance their benefits even more. The key is to create combinations that are easy to digest, that don't cause discomfort before sleeping, and that also provide that extra dose of vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants your body needs while you rest. Let me give you some examples of nighttime combinations you can try starting today. First, one of the simplest and most effective, banana with plain yogurt. You only need half a banana sliced and a couple of tablespoons of unsweetened yogurt. If you want, you can add a pinch of cinnamon. This mix will give you potassium, magnesium, protein, and probiotics, all in one bowl. Another very good option, kiwi with a bit of oats and chia seeds. Kiwi will provide vitamin C and antioxidants. Oats and chia will add fiber and a touch of plant protein. If you also let it rest a few minutes with a bit of plant milk, you'll have a kind of delicious little nighttime pudding. If you prefer something more liquid, you can try a cherry smoothie with plant milk. Just use some frozen cherries, a glass of almond or oat milk, and if you want, a touch of honey or a few drops of natural vanilla. This smoothie is especially good if you have trouble sleeping, thanks to the natural melatonin in cherries. Another simple idea, a small fruit salad of papaya, strawberries, and blueberries. You only need a small bowl. Cut the papaya into cubes, add a few strawberries and a handful of blueberries. You can squeeze a bit of lemon on top to give it a fresh touch. This mix is light, antioxidant, and very easy to digest. And if you like to experiment, you can make an antioxidant mix with pomegranate, blackberries, and a bit of Greek yogurt. That way you'll have proteins, vitamins, and a lot of antioxidants in a single dish. But attention, there's something very important I want you to keep in mind. It's not about eating large quantities. We're not trying to fill the stomach before sleeping. The idea is to have a small portion, something that gives you nutrients, but that doesn't leave you feeling heavy or with slow digestion. Remember that eating too much right before going to bed can affect your sleep, and that would go against one of the main goals, for your body to rest well, so it can repair and strengthen muscles. So my advice is this: choose a small combination, enjoy it about 30 or 40 minutes before going to bed, and let your body do the rest while you sleep. Now then, there's an issue we can't overlook: precautions. If you have diabetes or problems regulating blood sugar, it's essential that you carefully control the amount and type of fruits you eat at night. Some fruits have more natural sugar than others, so if you're diabetic, the ideal is to choose fruits with a low glycemic index, like kiwi or berries, and to eat them in moderate amounts. The same goes if you have kidney problems. Some of the fruits we mentioned today are rich in potassium, like banana or papaya. And although potassium is very beneficial for muscle function, an excess can be dangerous if you have kidney failure or problems filtering minerals. So, before making any major changes to your diet, especially if you have chronic illnesses, I recommend that you first speak with your doctor or a trusted nutritionist. They can give you specific guidance tailored to your case. Always remember, this channel is here to give you ideas, motivate you, and inspire you to care for your health. But everybody is different. Other strategies to prevent sarcopenia besides fruits. So far, we've talked a lot about fruits and their incredible power to help you prevent sarcopenia. But there's something I want to make very clear. Fruits are only part of the solution. If you truly want to protect your strength, your independence, and your quality of life, you need a more complete approach. Today, I want to share with you other equally important strategies you can start applying right now. First, let's talk about gentle but consistent exercise. Many older people believe they can no longer exercise because they feel pain, fatigue, or simply because they never liked it. But here's a big truth. You don't need to lift huge weights or spend hours in a gym to keep your muscles active. Something as simple as walking every day can make an enormous difference. A walk of 20 or 30 minutes at a comfortable pace can activate your circulation, stimulate your muscles, and protect your cardiovascular health. It's not about speed, it's about consistency. And if you want to go a step further, you can incorporate strength exercises adapted for older people. For example, do gentle squats while holding onto a chair. Lift small water bottles as if they were weights. Do balance exercises, like standing on tiptoes or standing on one foot for a few seconds. These movements, even if they seem simple, help maintain muscle mass and strengthen joints. Remember, the muscle that isn't used is lost. That's why moving a little each day is as important as what you eat. The second key strategy is hydration. You may not know it, but dehydration is one of the great hidden enemies of muscle mass in later life. As we age, our body loses the ability to clearly feel thirst. This means that many older people simply stop drinking enough water without realizing it. But water is essential to keep muscle cells healthy. Lack of hydration can cause cramps, weakness, and in the long term, accelerate the loss of muscle mass. My advice: take small sips of water throughout the day. Don't wait to feel thirsty to hydrate. A glass upon waking, another mid-morning, another in the afternoon, and a last one before dinner. The third strategy has to do with your protein intake. Yes, fruits are wonderful for their antioxidants, vitamins, and minerals, but muscles need protein to stay strong. And here's the problem: many older people eat very little protein. Think about your daily diet. Are you including enough fish, chicken, eggs, dairy, or legumes? Experts recommend that after the age of 60, we slightly increase the amount of protein we consume to compensate for the natural loss of muscle mass. A good general rule is to include a source of protein in every meal. If you have breakfast, you can include a bit of yogurt, cheese, or egg. At lunch, some lean meat, fish, or tofu. And at dinner, a portion of legumes, eggs, or a small piece of fish. You don't need to eat large amounts. Just be consistent and make sure every meal has its dose of protein. Lastly, but no less important, I want to talk about something we sometimes overlook: sleep. Sleeping well isn't just resting. It's during the night that your body activates muscle repair processes. If you sleep little or poorly, no matter how well you eat or how much you exercise, your muscles won't be able to regenerate as they should. Try to have a sleep routine. Go to bed and wake up at the same time every day. Avoid screens before sleeping and create a relaxed environment in your bedroom. If you care for your rest, your muscles will thank you. So to sum up this part, fruits, yes, but also gentle exercise, good hydration, enough protein during the day, and quality sleep at night. These are the true foundations for fighting sarcopenia and keeping your strength for many more years. And now that we've reached the end of this journey, I want to tell you something very important. It is never too late to start caring for your strength. It doesn't matter if you're 60, 70, or 80 years old, or even more. Every day, and especially every night, you have the opportunity to give your body what it needs to stay strong, active, and full of life. Remember, sarcopenia is not an inevitable sentence. It's a process you can slow and even improve if you make the right decisions. And those decisions start with small things, like choosing well what you eat before sleeping. Today we have talked about 7 powerful fruits. First, the banana, for its potassium and its ability to relax the muscles. Then, the kiwi, loaded with vitamin C and antioxidants that fight inflammation. Papaya, excellent for digestion and full of vitamin A. Cherries, for their natural melatonin that improves sleep. Blueberries, a shield of antioxidants that protect your muscle cells. Pomegranate, which favors circulation and muscle oxygenation. And lastly, strawberries, small but full of vitamin C and fiber. Each of these fruits can be your ally. You can choose the one you like most, or even combine them in small portions. The important thing is that you start today, tonight, because every small action you take for your body, for your health, and for your well-being adds up.
Now I want to ask you something.
Tell me in the comments, which of these fruits are you going to try first tonight? Or maybe you already have some nighttime habit that helps you sleep better and care for your strength. I would love to read you, to know from which country you're watching me, and what changes you would like to make starting today.
And of course, if you liked this video, if you found it useful, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell.
That way you won't miss any of the upcoming videos, where I'll keep sharing practical tips so you can enjoy a long, strong, and healthy life. Thank you for staying with me to the end.